Everyone. Welcome to the Fundamentals of Finance, where we will talk about money mindset and discover and rediscover what matters most to us. So let's hop right in. And as we wait for the other attendees to join in, I'd like us to try a few quick activities that would help us better understand and equip ourselves before we formally begin this workshop. Okay. So in the meantime, I'll be requesting you to scan this QR code on screen, or you can type in your browser tinyurl.com/Rappler carbon footprint. Okay. So this is a footprint quiz wherein we'll have the chance to see what our carbon footprint is like, what how much electricity we use, what's that usage when it comes to our waste, when it comes to our transportation. Okay? So it's meant to also review and revisit our lifestyle. Yeah? So let's explore and discover this together. Great, 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 great. So how is that going? I'll be sharing this also in the comments and in the chat. Okay, so that's tinyurl.com/Rappler carbon footprint. So this is a short quiz that will help us identify how much carbon dioxide does our lifestyle or our household more or less emits. And so it will tell us also around how much trees do we need to plant depending on our usage in order to counter that carbon dioxide emission. Okay, so the fundamentals series in the fundamentals class today is really all about identifying and becoming aware of what already is, because it is with that awareness that we are able to take informed choices moving forward. And these are not just informed choices, but also aligned choices with our values. So today is all about financial well-being and energy management. And I'll be sharing a few quotes with you today just to help us reflect and jumpstart this workshop. And I hope we remember this, okay? That as Warren Buffett shares, no, the best investment you can make is in yourself. So we can ask ourselves these questions such as, in the past week, or in the past month, or in the past year, what investments have I made for myself? And a part of it is also learning. It's like what you're doing here today, investing in that lifelong learning. Another one from Warren Buffett: the more you learn, the more you will earn. Of course, let's not confuse this though with bombarding ourselves with too much knowledge, right? But it's becoming also intentional with what we want to learn, what matters most, right? And so this helps us whether earn money, earn more time, earn more experiences. We also have here from Dave Ramsey: budgeting is like giving yourself a race by making the most of your money. So we want to maximize these resources. Money is a tool that's given by, if it's part of your faith, given by God, by the universe, okay, by that supreme being, or by the natural way that the world works. It's a resource that we are called and invited to be responsible stewards of. How can we take care of this resource? How can we use it as a tool to better our lives? From Susie Orman, a budget is a powerful tool that helps you navigate the road to financial freedom. So today we're going to wear that explorer hat and see how we can journey through life with a much more fun and enjoyable lens, right? Becoming that excited explorer. From Jean Chatsky, budgeting is the cornerstone of financial success. It's being able to identify and pinpoint, this is where I envision my money to go, and this is where I'll discipline myself to route this money. From John Maxwell, a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I'm sure some of you can relate to this, right? Wherein sometimes we're wondering, after each cut off or every time we receive a paycheck, we wonder, or there's a ping for that payroll bank account. Isn't that one of the best feelings ever, right? So it's when we are able to identify where the money goes. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we wonder, where did the money go? Right? Seemed like it just passed through. Right? So it's important to track, okay, and to take charge of this money, where it goes, setting healthy boundaries as well. Budgeting empowers you to make money a tool for achieving your dreams. And I hope that we don't let money take control over us, but instead we use it as a tool, as a stepping stone in order to get to those goals and dreams that we have in life. From Rachel Cruz, budgeting is not punishment, it's a path to financial freedom. So today we're going to widen our mindset, expand our perspective on our relationship with budgeting and money. And it's a natural experience for us to feel anxious, to feel confused, or maybe to feel a bit being in that state of a nerve-wracking situation. And it's not easy to talk about money, but today we can explore how can we befriend money. From Susie Orman as well, investments are like seeds. Budgeting and life insurance water and nourish them to grow. So we can look for various supplements in our lives, right? Kind of imagining ourselves as gardeners, taking care of that plant, those seeds, right? What seeds are we planting? And it's not just limited to the financial space, but also with our health. How can we plant seeds that will allow our health to flourish? From Chris Hogan, budgeting is not about restriction, but about making the most of what you have. How can we optimize what we already have? Sometimes there's just a lot of stuff around us that sometimes we still add those certain things to cart. And maybe you can type in the chat or the comments. What are some of those things? Right? What are some things that you find yourselves having a double or triple of stocks on? Because, oops, I forgot. Or maybe, I cannot find it. Okay. So what are some of those items that you have? Okay. So we want to know and we want to identify What budget is it that we're working around in? We work and we adjust within our means, right? These days, we see a lot of talk also about lifestyle inflation, wherein when our budget increases, okay, our expenditure also increases. But we want to increase our budget, but also be mindful, okay, or reassess and reevaluate, right, our expenses. I believe in you. We got this. Okay. So we're going to take it one step at a time. From John Maxwell, budgeting is not just about limiting spending, it's about directing it towards your goals. Okay. So it's being able to become laser focused. Instead of just going with the flow, we try to somewhat remember that we are rowing in that boat. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Right? So, how do we row? Do we row towards, okay, this direction? Or do we row towards, for example, saving and investing? Or do we row for some of our expenses or day to day? And how can we also row towards, of course, being able to reward ourselves? Okay? So there are different approaches to this. It's important we are able to reward ourselves as well. From Warren Buffett, once more, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So are we the type who would go for spend, then save? Or do we save first, then spend? Or maybe allocate, then spend. Then whatever is left, okay, we also save it again, right? So it's creating that habit. Successful investing is about managing risk, not avoiding it. So Benjamin Graham reminds us of being able to become aware first of what our risk profile is, our risk appetite is. And then we can invest. Things aren't entirely guaranteed, right? Like you being here in this workshop, you're investing your time in learning, in improving yourself. From Jean Chatsky, budgeting wisely today makes room for investments in a better tomorrow. We want to be in that state of making money also work for us. And in order to do that, we got to use time as an ally. And this has been our set of quotes for now. Okay. And some of you in the registration survey have been wondering also, how can you start investing in a safe manner? Okay. So I'll be sharing with you a tool that can help you see what amount of money will you have by a certain time frame, depending on how much you put in and depending on what type of investment vehicle you put it in. Okay, so I'd like to share this browser. Okay, so this search engine is something that a college friend has introduced to me back then. It's called ecosha.org. And it's one of the ways that we can care for Mother Nature while we search. Okay. So that's ecosha.org. You can install it as a plugin on Google Chrome or on Safari or Internet Explorer. So this is my default already, and you can help plant trees by searching using the search engine. These are the stats and counting. Okay, you can check this out. Okay, that's akosha.org. Now I'll invite you to type in tinyurl.com/investment health SL. Okay. So this is a tool by Sun Life Asset Management, wherein it can help us identify how much money we can save or set aside through the years. Okay. So for example, you're curious and you want to start with 1,000 right now. And it's up to you if you wish to do it on a monthly basis, quarterly, or annual. Let's say you want to establish that monthly, okay, 1,000. Then you can just add if ever, okay, you find yourself having bonus. Okay? So let's say around 20 years. 1, 2, 3. So that's 20, 35. Oh, sorry, 35 plus 10, 45. So that's 20, 45 minus 20, 25. So yes, that's 20 years. So let's calculate the results. If you set this aside, that's a total of 253,000. Okay. So if we put it in a regular savings account in the bank without touching it, without withdrawing anything from it, that would become 259,000 by 2045. Okay. If we put it in a high yielding time deposit, that would be 273,000. Or maybe if we put it in a digital bank, for example. Okay. So if you put it in a low risk fund, like let's say a bond fund, treasury bills, okay, we also have Pag-ibig MP2 as examples. That would become 392,000, more or less. Okay. So all of these are not guaranteed. They are just projected illustrations. Okay. So take note, in investing, there are no guarantees. Okay. It really depends on how the market is going. Sometimes it goes up and then down. Okay. But generally, there's a trend of sloping upwards. Okay. In a moderate fund, since it's compounding, it might reach potentially 630,000. And if we get ourselves into that aggressive fund, like, so in the middle, moderate would be balanced fund. And then when we're here in aggressive or aggressive risk fund, that would be more or less an index or equity fund, where they follow the stock index. Okay. So what if we want to increase this a little bit? You can just play around. Okay, so for example, 5,000 at first, and then you want to make a habit of monthly 2,000. Okay, so it's going to recompute, right? So your base is 509,000, then that will reach increase. Okay? So let's go back to the initial, no, the basic, which is 1,000 per month. So let's explore our options. It will show you here if you get into a conservative fund, okay? If you get into a moderately aggressive fund, or if you go for your aggressive fund. Okay? But another would also be identifying first your risk appetite. So you might be here, but you might be unsure of, but where am I? Okay. So identify your risk profile first. Okay. So this time, I'll request you to log in tinyurl.com/investmentality with QH. Okay. It will lead you to this page where you can identify, more or less, this is what suits me. Okay. So are you here? Somewhere your capital is kept safe. So never mind if the interest is low, as long as you preserve your capital. What if you're apt or open for moderate growth, but it's relatively secure? Or you want to get into that slightly risky state for higher growth. So maybe let's be there. Okay. So you've just made an investment. How many years will you let your money remain invested? Maybe for me, I'm seeing it already for my future retirement. Okay, so that would be around 15 years. Okay. So the market just dropped. How would you react? Would you be in a state of panic? Would you worry? Would you stay cool? Okay. Or would you be unbothered? Probably I'll stay cool. Okay. So how much do you expect to earn each year from your investments? Do you see a 5 to 10% growth, an 11 to 15%, or above 15? Maybe let's go for a 5 to 10% increase. Okay. Inflation is decreasing and your money spending power is also losing its power. Okay. How concerned are you? It's something I don't really think about, or maybe it's slightly important, or you're moderately concerned. Okay. So how about this one? How was your experience with investing? No experience yet, or maybe not that familiar. You have some time deposits and mutual funds, or maybe you have some investments already. So yeah, I'll go for this one. In my case, I've tried also some IPOs, like for Frutas and Double Dragon, for example. Okay. So that those are some that I've tried before. Okay. So there's that fluctuation. So it's waiting it out as well. So it's time to choose what investment type would you pick. Would you be low risk type, or would you like to have that stable portfolio? Around how many years do you find yourself keeping it? 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5, 5 to 7? Maybe I'll go here for the 7 to 9 years. And tan tan. So it will give you your invest mentality. So mine is moderately aggressive. Okay? So a sensible mix is key. So you can mix it up, and here you go. You can see how your money can grow by going for that investment calculator once more. All right. So go ahead and try this and explore. And I can also personally help you out in this. If you have more questions as to how you can create that step, you can also apply this on auto debit or auto charge. Okay. So automatically every month it can be deducted from your chosen bank account, making it an easy peasy habit. All right. So let's get back into as we wait for our other attendees. Go ahead and explore these tools. I'll have them readily available in the chat and in the comments. All right. So I'll see you in a bit as we formally begin this Fundamentals of Finance workshop.